What's going on YouTube? This is Komodo Chris with another install video. It's been a while since I did an install video. The last one I did was the American Adventure Labs back tailgate, and I did mention I was going to do more videos, install videos, and I have one coming up here for the KC gravity headlights. So I've got that one that I'll be putting out there. But today's video is ARB Twin Compressor air install into the Jeep JL 2-door Hesti Fit. So first things first, I'm going to try to keep this install video pretty minimal. There's a couple install videos out on YouTube that got a pretty good idea of how to assemble and put together the ARB Twin Compressor onto a mount onto your Jeep. Today we're going to be using Grimm Offroad's mount, and it mounts right underneath the fender well on the driver's side. So we'll be taking off our front driver's side fender, and we'll be installing it there, and then we'll also be hooking up the air hoses as well as installing the wires to the battery, and it's got a switch that comes with it. So I think I was kind of debating whether or not to actually connect it to my auxiliary switches, but it comes with a pretty nice switch, and I can kind of free up some space on my auxiliary switches inside. So yeah, let's get this install going. Okay, so first we want to make sure we have all our hardware. So here's the heat shield. We've got our control plate, looks like that. We've got our spacer. We've got our compressor mounting plate here, and we've got our two hoses, and they're two different lengths. And then we've got our air filter relocation fittings here. I've counted them all. Should have two JIC4 fittings and also 4 air filter relocation fittings, which are the large ones with barbed fittings at the end. And then you have your mounting hardware here. So I've got 3 screws plus the washer. Looks like they gave us an extra nut, nylon locking nut here. I'm not too sure what that is it for, but we'll find out. And then they gave us some zip ties in case we need to zip tie some of this stuff up together. Also, we have our small little harness that it comes with as well to hook up to. Just make sure you also have your ARB Twin Compressor as well ready. Make sure you've got all your things in here, such as your air filters and your harnesses, your electrical harnesses, and your switch too. This is where your switch is going to be at here. So here you see a tire deflation switch, and we'll stick that through the control bracket over here when we're done. Alright, so basically what I did here was I jacked up the axle. I put it on some jacks. I've got a jack underneath that axle, and I've got a second jack over there on the frame just in case. And I just kind of left that doesn't have any pressure on it, any tension, my hydraulic jack, 4-jack, but I just kind of like to leave that there and just in case as a third measure, just to keep up the vehicle on this side. But we'll take out 5 of the screws of the bolts within here in the wheel well. And let's see if we go up here. You can see one of them there, probably another one in there, another one there, here, and here. We'll take those out, and we'll just pop this fender off and get going here. Alright guys, so I got all 5 bolts out here. There is one kind of a push grommet bolt in there, so I'll take that out. Just don't forget to take this one out here in the front. Alright, so I took the fender off. Of course I suck at doing that, so I have to pop these things off to put them back in here. I think, I'm not too sure, but Next, you want to disconnect your harness here, your electrical harness that goes to your halogen lights, or whatever lights you have in front. Alright, so hey, I was able to get those retaining clips off. It's actually pretty simple. I just got a kind of a pry tool here and pinched both ends of the where it actually protrudes into, and then you can kind of just pull it out. And just to show you, they're back on here. It's just a little slot. You just kind of slide it back up in there, and it's got two halves to it. I did get one broken, but who cares? One out of, I don't know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 out of 10 ain't bad. So, next thing you do, take off 10mm bolt. These are 10mm. You need a 10mm socket. Take these off. You're gonna take off this bracket harness, and then disconnect this harness. Go ahead and pull this this out, and then you're gonna go ahead and loosen this nut here. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Alright guys, so next what you have to do is you'll have to discard that bracket off the connector here. What did I do with that bracket? Oh, here it is. So you'll just push down on this end here, and what it does is it slides in the back of this slot on this connector, and it'll slide right out. So you just pop it off. That, they say you can discard this, so you put that to the side, and then what they want you to do here is cut off this little zip tie that's connected to this side of the connector. And I think we went from right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to move this onto this connector here and place it at the very top one, and then reconnect the connectors. That way it'll get it out of the way of the new mount for the compressor. Okay. Alright, in case you guys are wondering, just kind of cut off the little loop, and it'll actually loop and go back inside this channel here on the very top channel. Acts as a small little zip tie. So just get a new zip tie, and you'll use this. Again, we'll place it right here at the top. Stick it right in there with a new zip tie, and I think this one goes on here. Yeah, this one goes this way, and then this harness comes in here into play, so we'll have it hooked up there. Also, you're probably gonna have to get it off this. This harness here was attached here. You probably have to get it off just to give it more flexibility to move the connector that way. Okay. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's what it should look like. So it's pretty free there. It's kind of what it looks like, and the instructions they have. It's tied up there. Should be pretty good with the zip tie. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So just reconnecting, re-establishing it on the side. Was here, moved it up there. And for the 2.0s, they're a little different. So this is for the 3.6 Pentastar engine. 2.0s have different instructions where these things are mounted, so there's a different step in there for the 2.0 engines. Next, apply the spacer bracket here. It'll fit on just like this. Okay. I don't know, if you put it that way, it doesn't look right. But yeah, the instructions are this way. Let's put that on. So here, go ahead and just test fit your mounting bracket for the compressor, because next thing you're going to be doing is actually mounting your compressor to your bracket, applying your heat shield here. So everything looks, it fits up pretty nicely. Make sure you save the hardware for these 10mm bolts, and also this 13mm nut here. Alright, so put your mount on your ARB compressor. You're going to want to put your power harness through this little slot here. And then you put your heat shield on, put your hardware on. So you have your bolt, your lock washer, and then your washer. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this comes in your ARB air compressor kit there. So mount that up there, and let's see what's next here. Oh, I think we need to put the fittings on. So we'll put the fittings. Next is we'll mount the fittings on here. Take off these little red caps. And then there's another red cap here we'll take off as well too. Okay, we got our fitting, our 1/4 inch fitting here to 1/2 inch barb, 1/4 to 1/2 inch barb here. This is how they want you to orient it. So this kind of looks like maybe a 1 o'clock position. This might be, you know, between a little over 12 o'clock position here, and then this one kind of lines. It got a little angle here going backward on the 12, but I kind of lined it at 12 for this one. Yeah, everything's mounted. We're gonna put this back on here onto the Jeep, and we're gonna torque our 13mm nut to 13 foot-pounds, and then our 2 nuts on the bottom to 8 foot-pounds. Alright guys, so got the bracket mount mounted in there with the ARB 12V compressor. Your connector's going to come out here to the top. I try to torque these down. I don't have anything to grab onto here for 8 foot-pound torque. All I have is I've got these standard crow's feet, but nothing that small. So I just snugged it as tight as I could. And it's pretty snug. And then I tightened this bolt up here to 13 foot-pound. So everything looks pretty good. It's pretty snug. The engineering on this bracket is crazy because, you know, you're sticking a wrench up in here. It's so tight. Like, you have to make sure that these I would just hook it on here and then kind of put the nut on here a couple of turns, and then go ahead and start trying to put in these nuts back here, because I mean, it was just nuts trying to get those in there. It's pretty tight squeeze, but I don't know, it looks pretty good. I'm not too sure. So this one looks like it's pointed. It'll probably go out right here. This one I can probably turn it, you know, I think this one was at the 1 o'clock, 1.5 o'clock, or sorry, 12.5 o'clock, and I can actually go probably back to maybe 11 or 11 o'clock position. If I look down here, you can kind of see what it looks like from the top here. But those hoses should come up right from the top here. Alright, let's get on to the next thing here. Alright, so you got 2 harnesses that we're going to be focusing on. This one's the power harness that came in the ARB air compressor kit. And then we have the switch harness here that comes in the Grimm Offroad, and this will be connected right there to that little one. We got a light on there. That little one right there, this black one here. We'll connect that one right in there, and then the power harness will connect to here, and we'll feed it through the top, out to the side here, and over to where the battery's at. Let's get it. Okay, so here's the power harness, or yeah, hook connected in, and then here's the switch harness connected in. Ran the switch harness up here, which we'll get to that soon, and then ran the power harness right behind my auxiliary switch box here, underneath, I think this underneath here, and then routed it right across with the auxiliary switches, zip tied them along down there. As we go over here to the front, the other side, passenger side, we're going to hook the power up to the battery, and what I did is connected the 2 red wires together, crimped that with a hydraulic crimp. This is a 6 AWG terminal, so it was pretty large for the 2 wires. Crimped that, and then let's see here, and then we also did the black wires as well, crimped that together. on there pretty tight. Put a sleeve. It's a pretty long sleeve. I could have cut it down, but probably not going to use these anytime in the near future. So we'll connect that to our negative there. So we'll put that over to the side right now, and we'll get started on the next step here. Alright, the next thing you want to do is connect your hoses, the longer one to the innermost fitting and the shorter one to the outermost fitting. And you can just feed them up here if you'd like, or just kind of put them out of the way for right now. Alright guys, so next we're going to actually get our control bracket here ready. I've got the two fittings for the filter. So the filter and the fittings will go here. Don't over tighten these because these threads are plastic and they will mess up if you over tighten them too much. So we'll put that in there. But first I wanted to get the MPT fitting into here. Basically you're going to put some thread sealer, some MPT thread sealer, some Teflon tape. Go ahead and screw that in hand tight, and then you're going to turn it in there. So I'll get that on, and two filters on this, and these are female, so these go on one side and these go on the other side and sandwich the bracket between. Alright. Okay, so this is kind of what the bracket looks like when it's put together. Obviously, let me turn this. This can actually still swivel. I didn't try to tighten it down too much, but you'll get your fitting in there for the chuck, and then you have your two filters compressed against the mount there. Put that down there. Okay, we're going to remove the factory bolt, fender bolt here, and we're going to add this washer right here to make this level with this plane here. Probably gonna have to move this line out of the way, take it off this small bracket carefully if you can. If not, you can probably just zip tie it down here, just because this is kind of getting in the way. You can kind of see, we're supposed to sit this way, and this thing kind of rises up here, and when the bracket sits here, this is in the way. So I don't want to pinch those wires too much. So I just take this out and just kind of move it to the side for right now. You might be able to stick it right here on this one, but for right now I'm just going to keep it here, and I'll probably zip tie it to this bracket, from this hole into this bracket here, just to get it out of the way. Cool, so got the control mount on there. You put the three bolts that come with the Grimm Offroad package. I did move this off here, and then you've got your control harness still coming up from the bottom, and I connected the hoses already to the barbed ends of the filter. So it looks pretty nice and clean. There's the two hoses, and I did have to cut the hoses short, so this is probably about 6 inches for both, maybe a little bit more, because I did have to go ahead and chop off another inch off of both ends here too. So looks like they give you a little bit more than you need, but that's good because I can fit it up pretty nicely. So let's see yeah, it goes on pretty good. Alright, so the way you want to hook up your control switch is you're going to go black, red, purple, and this is the top. The top is up here. So black, red, purple, and it's on the three prong side, not the 2-prong side. And you can see, maybe it'll show you an up arrow where right underneath here, an up arrow where this switch is actually supposed to be pointed. So it should be pointed up. And once you get that on there, you can fit it right into the slot. And it should fit in there really nice. Yep, and nice and easy. Yeah, it looks like these wires kind of hit this, but should be fine. Try to put those in as much as I could. So there is one thing I forgot to mention. You'll have this high pressure hose from Grimm Offroad, and this is what's going to go onto your fitting right here, right here, down here, and then you're going to connect to your compressor fitting down here. Alright, so just connect your positive first, and then connect your negative here. It's kind of weird because this kind of, you know, it kind of loops around this way. I guess you can fix it, you know, to come in this way, but I didn't want to get too close to the engine there. So let's try it out. Okay, so I've got an ARB air check here. I'm gonna install this here, and then we'll turn it on and see if it actually works. That tightened up. We'll start it up. Alright guys, so I turned the car on. I'm going to install the hose. Pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to turn it on. And we got onboard air. Oh yeah. Check this out. You haven't seen anything there, but it's pumping out pressure. Let's see if we get a better view here. Yeah, so it's whipping out some air. I'm not gonna hold it too long because I don't want this thing to whip at me. But man, that thing's powerful. So there you have it. Your ARB air compressor install. And I'll turn this off. There. And let me deplete in here. It may be in that line. I don't know if you can see it on the screen there. 96 5.550. Alright. Take that off. Now you can safely take that off. Store this in your car. And there you have it. Turn off the engine here. Keys are in there. Let me grab the keys. So we just got to put the tire back on. Before we do that, we'll get the fender and inner liner in. And then everything's good. Everything works perfectly. If you guys like this video, comment, subscribe,